This is a video of British Olympic athletes Bianca Williams and Ricardo dos Santos being stopped and searched after returning from their training. They were removed from the car, handcuffed and separated from their newborn son. The police spent an hour searching for drugs and found nothing. Williams accuses the police of racial profiling and has said her partner is constantly targeted by the police because they assume he is driving a stolen car and smoking weed. The British government released a controversial report claiming that institutional racism doesn't exist and that Britain is a model society for white majority countries. But before we go into the evidence that proves institutional racism is very much alive and thriving, we must first define what racism is. Merriam-Webster defines racism as the systemic oppression of a racial group to the social, economic and political advantage of another. Dictionary.com expands on it by saying racism is also called institutional racism, which is a policy or system of government that favors members of the dominant racial group while discriminating against others, ultimately serving to preserve the social status, economic advantage or political power of the dominant group. To deny the existence of institutional racism is to deny the existence of racism as a whole, because racism is not just about a group of white people using the N-word. It's deeper than that. That same group of people could be plainclothes police officers who work within a multi-ethnic community. A person marching in a far-right protest making Nazi salutes could work in a secondary school or a hospital. The man who calls black people pickaninnies with watermelon smiles could be the elected leader of a nation that claims institutional racism does not exist. Few people can separate their prejudice and bias from their everyday lives, whether it's done consciously or unconsciously. No matter what profession you work in, you are still a human being whose upbringing and preconception of people, whether it concerns their class, gender, religion, sexuality, or race, will affect how you treat other employees, patients, customers, students, clients, and so on, which in turn could have an impact on their lives. And if there is a group of colleagues who hold the same prejudice as each other and are also in a place of power and influence, then of course that will also affect the experiences of, in this case, people who are of a different race. This is institutional racism. But if you are still not convinced, or you just want to see the evidence for yourself, continue watching. 12 statistics proving institutional racism exists in Britain. There were 60,000 racist incidents in UK schools in the last 5 years. Schools failed to safeguard children from racism, research shows. Black British Caribbean students are 5 times more likely to be excluded. Seven out of 10 young black people feel pressured to change the texture of their natural hair to be perceived as professional. Black, Asian and minority ethnic job seekers send 60% more job applications than white job seekers. 70% of black and Asian employees have been racially harassed at work in the last 5 years. A report into NHS blood and transplant conducted by Globus Mediation Group found black, Asian and minority ethnic staff were ignored, viewed as ineligible for promotion and endured low levels of empathy. Clive Lewis, the founder and chief executive, labelled the environment as psychologically unsafe and systemically racist. White doctors earn £10,000 more per year than black doctors. White nurses earn £2,700 more than black nurses. Donna Kinnear, Chief Executive and General Secretary of the Royal College of Nursing, said, "When you look at the outcomes for BAME patients, they're worse in almost every category. In every community we work with, BAME patients suffer the most. Black mothers are 4 times more likely to die from childbirth than white mothers." In 2019, black people were 40 times more likely to be stopped and searched. Yet the find rate for black people is lower than white people. Despite the lower find rates, between 2016 and 2017, black people were 10 times more likely to be arrested. An observational study published by the London School of Economics found that officers displayed an ongoing antipathy towards minority groups and retained enduring stereotypes that impacted on their conduct. I'm interested to know your thoughts, and write a comment below and share this video if you think anyone would like to see it. Also, click the thumbs up button and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye now.